Hey, fellow ballers, I hope you had a good day. I got a question from one of my subscribers, and he asks, at 3:15, how do you assess what the trend was on Magic 8 Ball for the day? So that's a kind of an odd question, I guess, seeing as I don't really look at what Magic 8 Ball says for the day. I really just focus, to an extent, from 3:30 to 4. But diving into that question a little more, and I got a couple other questions actually asking me about how I use Magic 8 Ball to decide what trade to enter and when and all that stuff. So I thought I would walk you through what I did today being December 12th. Is that right? Yes, December 12th. And just so you know, today I made $990 in 6 minutes. Now, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm actually saying it because I'm going to show you how I did it so that hopefully you can do it yourself. Now, just so you know as well, I don't always make $990 in 6 minutes. I usually aim for around $500. Yesterday, just so you know, I only made $220, but I made it in about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm not always in, by the way, for 5 or 6 minutes. Sometimes I'm in for 10 or 15 minutes. I try not to be. But the aim is always around 500. So sometimes I'm going to make more like today, and sometimes I'll make less like yesterday. But my strategy is always the same. It's just sometimes things work out better one day than the other. But regardless of that, I'm going to show you what I did today to make $990 in 6 minutes using Magic 8 Ball. So let's dive right in here. Now, even though I generally don't enter the market before 3:30, I will look back and look for some form of consistency in what Magic 8 Ball is predicting. And with regards to December 12th, I noticed that from 250 onward, he was predicting a 60-65, 60-70 call. And he just kept sticking with that number like for a really long time. So by the time 3:30 rolled around, he was still calling it. Now, if we look at TradingView, which is the tool that I use to watch what's going on, we can see from about 2:30 onward, it seems to be pretty stable, bouncing kind of between 60-58 and 60-62. So when we factor these two things together, that he's calling a 60-65 call, like constantly, and the market seems to be bouncing between 58 and 62. Here's the thing. Here's my strategy. That's where my strategy comes into play, is I don't care about expiration because I'm not going to let it expire. My feeling is I just want it to get below whatever I get in at later, like after the trade. Like it could be 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, whatever it is. I just need it to go below it at a certain point before the end of the day. And ideally, I'm out of the money and I'm making some money and all is good. So 60, 65, 60, 70, which is what he was calling, wasn't paying very much at all. It was probably around like, I don't know, 50 cents, something like that. And this was around 335. And I didn't like it. That's not enough for me. But I noticed if I went down to 60, 60, 60, 65 call, I was able to get like at one point over $2. But to me, that's a little bit scary when it's that high because it could be on an uptrend, which we obviously don't want. I don't want it to get over over 60, 60. So I watched it for a while and you know what? It was bouncing a lot and I kind of felt good or confident anyway that it was at some point in the next maybe 5 or 10 minutes, it was going to go below 60, 60. So I got in at $1.90, as you can see here, and I sat on it. And 6 minutes later, it dropped to the point that I was up $990. And I said, that works for me because this is kind of bouncing weird. It could go up, it could go down. I'm not sticking around because as we all know, things can go weird the last 5 minutes. So 6 minutes later, I exited and there you go. It was a $990 day in 6 minutes. That's it. That's all I do is I just kind of wait and I don't care what it expires at. And just so you know, by the way, today was he was right by a long shot. Had I stayed in, I would have made about $2,100. But it's easy to say that after 4 o'clock. So I hope you found this video inspiring or useful at the very least, so that you can start making more money in less time and having more successful days. And if you have any questions or whatnot, feel free to post them down below. I'll answer them the best I can. Till then, good luck and stay focused and don't be greedy.